paranoia with Christina because she kind of puts on a mask for everyone. So that could have came out with me thinking this, but I don't know why I thought this. And then what I imagined was like Christina's here telling me she feels really awesome and great, and then like I'm here and I'm panicking and like feeling like I've been in hell, like
Wondering why you don't feel as great.
wondering why I don't feel as great. But then I made this like stupid like theory to justify why this is happening, and I said, well, Christina's really feeling how I feel, and then she's asking me how I feel, and then this like masked person in front of me is telling her, I feel great, I feel really good, you're the one that's bugging out, like I feel awesome. And then Christina's feeling exactly how I feel and she's in hell too, but then this like fake Christina is telling me that she feels really awesome and great. And then it's like almost like when you're with someone there, like here's her feeling really awesome and great, and then here's me feeling like I'm in hell, and like here's this fake me telling Christina I feel really awesome and great, and then the real Christina is feeling like she's in hell, and this fake Christina is telling me that she feels awesome and great. Like I don't know, it's just this weird delusion.
You obviously do. You just said you don't know, but you obviously do.
That's how it felt. And then not being on it anymore, I wonder why Christina does it all the time if she's in that I don't feel really great. She might just feel really awesome and great, and it might just affect her differently, and that's just my own perception and delusion.
I think the first time you explained that was kind of a nail on the head situation.
Then why do you do it?
Excuse me?
Then why do you smoke weed?
I really don't smoke much anymore. After my profound experiences with these, I don't... Because, like I said, it makes you prioritize and deprioritize and organize. You understand... I mean, I do. Like, for example, I haven't smoked for a few days, you know, but I randomly will. I'll smoke a bowl or something.
Yeah.
To suffice. But I don't even know what I'm really sufficing because these feelings are so incredible and so profound and so significant that to think of what I'd feel if I smoked a bowl or two, it doesn't really do much because it's not significant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think as much as I do when I'm on pot. If anything, when I'm on pot, it's kind of like because what pot does is it neutralizes brain cells. It doesn't kill them. It neutralizes them. Which is kind of a good thing because, you know, it's kind of like turning off a machine in order to then oil it. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to oil it while it's running.
Okay.
If you want to think about it like that. But it neutralizes brain cells. It stops them, gives them a little break, and then when you come out of it, you may feel a little bit regenerated, if you will, or you possibly feel as though you kind of overcame something a little bit, or you feel better because you've been comparing that maybe degraded point of perception, and now you're seeing things clearer, literally.
Okay. I don't know. Just affects.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It affects me really weird, so I just don't do it.
And with that alone, that's another thing that keeps people away from things like this because they assume that like mushrooms are possibly more intense than what you would feel with
That's
weed.
what I think an assumption I have.
But it's not.
It's different.
It's very different, but it's not like you could say, oh, it's more intense. It's more significant. It's more clarical. It's more lucid.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. It's not fake.
And I felt a lot of fakeness. Even smoking weed like with my sister, I felt this like aura of everything fake. Like I felt like I just was like so overwhelmed with how people were, like just like I just felt uncomfortable. Like people made me uncomfortable because I didn't trust them. Maybe that's just paranoia.
Okay. No, it's not paranoia. It's what you're picking up that is real. I mean, your perception is real. You know what I mean? Like what you feel for somebody is real to an extent because it's your opinion.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, you can't cast it out and always challenge what you're thinking. I mean, you should always challenge what you're thinking at first. But if you're possibly coming across the same answer over and over, that's probably the correct one.
I just remember one time we were smoking out of a bowl with my sister and her boyfriend at the time, my older sister, and I remember feeling pretty high, so I was like, I don't really want to smoke this anymore. And like I remember it came around to me again, so I just kind of like pretended, like I took a hit, and then like I passed it to my sister, and then her boyfriend was like, "You didn't hit that, Julia," and I just remember like my whole everything was just like I freaked out, like in my head though, and I was just like, "Yeah, I did," and he's like, "No, you didn't," and I was like, "Crap, he was watching me, like." Why does he want me to get so high? Like, maybe I don't want to hit it. And I was like, no, I'm okay. I don't want it anymore. And he's like, well, take another hit. And I said, no, like, I don't feel like it right now. Mom and Tom are going to come home soon. I just don't want to hit this, okay? And, like, he made me feel so uncomfortable for not wanting to hit it. I don't know.
No, it happens. It does. It 100%. I mean, especially if you don't smoke a lot, you know what I mean? It's going to have profound effects on what you think.
Yeah.
But that's very interesting that you. It's just because, you know, like what you're telling me, I can 100% relate. But I'm relating it with psilocybin.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, kind of brings me back to the whole thing where it's not ironic. These botanicals, these botanical drugs. I don't want to call them drugs, but these compounds, these botanical compounds, it's a given to you by nature.
Would you ever give them to someone without their awareness that they're going to take it?
I have actually. Not that I want to really admit that, but I actually.
To who?
My mom.
Your mom?
Mm-hmm. I put 2 caps in her tea, and then I filtered them out.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, my mom's a busybody. You know what I mean? Like she comes in from work, she cracks herself a fucking disgusting water beer, like Miller Lite, and then she'll just like go about the rest of her day doing laundry and making lunches the next day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And just in kind of embodying her day with just busy shit. She doesn't look around at the bigger thing or the bigger pictures of anything. You know, she limits herself very much. Like, for example, my mom's a very half-assed Catholic or Christian, if you will. Like, for example, she doesn't go to church, but she will in order to suffice the feelings of her parents.
Yeah.
When they want to go to church. Like, I'm going to church with my parents. But she doesn't do it every Sunday. She does it, like, on Easter.
Yeah.
For Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
She's very half-assed. Not that I care, but I put 2 mushrooms into her. And, you know, it's funny because they were very small. It was an incredibly small dose. But I knew that she was feeling it. And, you know, I never questioned her or told her, still to this day.
Really?
Yeah.
To this day?
Yeah.
And she never brings it up?
No, because your biology of belief is what creates. So, her not knowing this feeling was such a facilitator for her because you could just tell that, you know, she stopped this habitual bullshit and actually sat down in the living room, enjoyed watching something she likes on TV, sat there and talked to my sister and her friends without having like laundry baskets in front of her, doing folding shit. And it was just funny to see, because I knew.
She like stopped everything that
Yes.
she normally would do.
Exactly.
And was like focused on
what matters, like maybe, you know, enjoying yourself in front of even the TV, even though it doesn't matter. But enjoying yourself, or doing something that makes you laugh, or sitting there and talking to your daughter and her friends, you know what I mean? Like, not that she doesn't talk to my sister, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, she took things that really don't matter and just kind of threw them out of her day. And that was just kind of funny to watch.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was...
saying weird stuff?
Oh, no. Well, I don't know if she was... You know, I wasn't really at the house that long. I made sure that I stayed around for, like, the first 2 hours of after her. Because I wanted to see...
She wouldn't taste the difference in the tea?
Oh, no. It was just a small amount.
Oh.
I put sugar and honey in it. And she didn't know. But, you know, I didn't mind doing this because I knew it wasn't going to have any adverse effects.
Yeah.
I knew it was only going to be something progressive. So I just said, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Anyone else you did that to? Or just her?
Yeah.
Not your sister?
No. I wouldn't mind doing it to anybody, honestly, because if anything, I'm sure that somebody would fucking thank me afterwards.
Really?
Yeah.
Did
And
Justin
you know,
thank you?
He did, yeah. After once
He
he
was like,
finally
"That's
came
good."
around and like hit me up and like, yeah, But he actually thanked me the first night. Like he was like hugging me and shit. Like, oh, this is a great experience. You know what I mean?
He's cool man.
Yeah, he's funny. But it's funny because I would very much wonder what it would be like to take them without knowing.
You think it'd be more positive? It's almost like knowing.
I almost think
opening the door.
Yeah, I
allowing it
almost
to
think
happen
if you
to
don't know, you won't be listening.
Yeah.
You know? You won't be listening to what it's saying. And I don't know why it reminds me of this story, but this kid, Dylan, who I sell weed to, and his father is the mycologist who I get a lot of this information from about mushrooms. Well, not psilocybin mushrooms, but mushrooms in general.
Okay.
He doesn't run in the circles of magic mushroom people, even though he does enjoy taking them when he can find them, because he hunts for them. But Dylan, I had the pleasure of giving him his first psilocybin experience, which I thought was funny because his father is a mushroom head.
Yeah.
Not a psilocybin mushroom head, but he's a mycologist at hobby and art, you know. And this is the first time he's ever been told or anything about these psychoactive mushrooms. And when I gave them to him and his friend, they were going to split an eighter. And I was like, where are you guys going? And they're like, we're going to a party. I was like, no, you're not. Like, don't. I was like, listen,
The atmosphere?
Well, it's not even the atmosphere. It's outlying factors limit the experience 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to get the answers that you need or want. Well, you don't know that you want them yet, but you will know eventually. You'll understand that. But I was like, listen, don't go to that fucking party. I want you guys to take them. Obviously, eat them with something like chocolate, so you don't like gag them to taste something or whatever. But like, eat them with something, and then drop him off, and just sit in your room. Just maybe open a fucking book. Don't turn the TV on. Maybe put some music on, but just sit in your room for the rest of the night. And they're like, what? You know what I mean? Because that's just an odd thing to say to somebody, or it's an odd thing to hear.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm not going to take drugs and sit in my room by myself. But it's all about you. It's all about what's going on between your ears. It has nothing to do with anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a social drug. I mean, it certainly could be. Because, obviously, I interact very well with people when I'm on them. But it's not meant for that.
Yeah.
It's meant for the finding and the education of yourself. The self. And besides that, Dylan texted me later that night and he's like, I just had an argument with a dog that doesn't exist. And I said, how do you know it's a dog if it doesn't exist? Which I thought was a great question, because I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he said, oh, well, I don't mean it like that. It's a stuffed dog in my room. Like a stuffed animal. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right. I was like, what are you getting at? He's like, I just don't understand why I had this conversation with the dog. I was like, you weren't having a conversation with the dog. You just happened to be staring at the dog when you started speaking to the stuff.
Okay.
And he didn't understand that.
This is almost like some theories of schizophrenia, is that those voices that they may
exactly.
hear is their own internal.
You're hearing yourself.
And
with schizophrenia, what happens is you blame yourself for something that happens. You blame, okay, I'm sorry, I never made the example when I started talking about my ex-girlfriend's grandmother, the fact that she doesn't come out of her room. She lost a child. She blames herself for the loss of life that she could have given, and that drove her mad. And it's experiences like that we take the weight of on our head and our shoulders, and then we develop this pseudo-psychological socio disease where we can't speak with people, or we cannot be around them, or we can't interact with them in a normality that they're used to. And it's something that you create. It's not something that's real.
Yeah.
And what's funny is these compounds, these vanguard species, can take you the fuck out of that reality, out of those negative deep progressions.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
It's incredibly interesting.
Yeah, because with schizophrenia, it's like their hallucinations of like people talking to them, is more so like